Isabella Grayson's shoes sank into the plush red carpet of Broadland's South Hall, and she released a soft sigh. What luxury! Her parents strolled ahead of her with their new estate agent, Mr. Fielding, and her sister Sylvia walked beside her. Bella slipped her arm through Sylvia's and leaned closer. My stars, have you ever seen anything like this? Sylvia's blue eyes darted from the large paintings hanging on the wall to the 6 white sculptures evenly spaced down the hallway. It looks like a palace or an art gallery. Exactly. Bella exchanged a smile with Sylvia, and they continued through the hall together. Bella had visited many lovely homes in London after her presentation at court and the rounds of balls and dinner parties during her first 2 seasons, but she'd never seen a more lavish home than Broadland's, her family's new country estate. Her father, Charles Grayson, had purchased it practically sight unseen when he heard it was for sale a few weeks ago. His solicitor had handled most of the details, and this was the first time he and the family were touring their new home. He puffed out his chest and surveyed the hall with a critical eye. If this doesn't impress those London toffs, I don't know what will. Her father turned to the butler. Pearson, has Sir Richard taken away everything he wants? The butler's lips pulled down at the corners. Yes, sir. The last of the family's furnishings were removed 2 days ago. Very good. He turned to Bella's mother. Well, Madeline, what do you think? It's beautiful, Charles, but it makes my head swim just thinking about managing all of this. Don't worry. We'll hire enough staff to take care of everything. Her mother's unsettled gaze traveled down the long hall. I can't imagine what we'll do with all this space. We'll entertain, Bella's father boomed. Shooting parties, dinner parties, house parties. He lifted his eyes to the painted ceiling. We'll invite all the right people to Broadlands and make all the connections I need. Now, Charles, we've come to the country so you can get more rest and take care of your health. Bella's father huffed and waved off his wife's words. Bella's shoulders tensed as she watched her parents. Her father owned 3 prestigious London newspapers, the Daily Mail, the Evening Standard, and the London Herald, but his rise to fame on Fleet Street and his drive to gain a fortune had taken a toll on his health and strained his relationships with his family. Bella hoped moving to Broadlands would motivate him to change his ways and balance work and rest, but her father had a different goal in mind. He wanted to bridge the gap between old money and new, and close the distance between himself and those who had inherited rank, titles, and respected family names. Mr. Fielding pushed open a set of large double doors. This is the drawing room. He smiled and extended his hand. Broadlands is a remarkable example of mid-Victorian architecture. The house is built of white magnesian limestone quarried right here on the estate in the 1860s. It was decorated and furnished by Lapworth Brothers of London. Her father strode into the drawing room, looking like a proud king surveying his new kingdom. The butler pulled the chain attached to the chandelier, and the gas flames flickered to life. Bella's breath caught as she lifted her gaze to the glittering lights and painted ceiling. They were stunning and certain to impress the guests her father planned to entertain. She lowered her gaze and looked around the drawing room. Coral-patterned silk covered the walls, and heavy gold and coral drapes hung around the 4 tall windows. On her right, an elaborately carved white marble mantelpiece surrounded the fireplace with a gilded mirror above. The furniture the previous owners had left behind looked as though it had been made for the room. Overstuffed chairs and couches in matching shades of coral and gold, a grand piano, and several tables and display cases. Sylvia's face glowed as she looked around the drawing room. If we pushed back the furniture and rolled up the carpets, this room would be large enough for a ball. Bella smiled, her heart warming as she watched her sister. Sylvia had recently turned 18 and would take part in the London season for the first time that spring. No doubt her beauty, charm, and caring disposition would make her shine among the other debutantes.